Hi, everybody. Welcome to the masterclass, How to Lose Weight Naturally When Nothing Else Works, Why You Don't Need Ozempic, and What to Do Instead. The reason I put this masterclass together is because I see so many women and men and couples and families struggling with how to actually lose weight and how to be healthy and feel well on a daily basis. And I see the efforts that you're putting in. I see the healthy eating and the diets you're trying to do. I see the exercise you're trying to do. And I feel the frustration that you have as a result of those things not working. So tonight we are going to be diving into what is actually going on inside of your body and how we can correct it naturally. And once we understand the chemistry and the biology behind what's happening, we can approach your diet in a different way and learn the strategies to actually help you lose weight, improve your health, and feel better long term. So let's dive in tonight. I have so much to share with you, and I'm really excited to get into this topic. So this may be you. You might be dealing with a variety of different things that you've tried, and maybe everything that used to work to help you lose weight is no longer working. So maybe right now you've been trying different diets or weight loss strategies, or you're exercising and doing the things that used to work, and it's just not happening for you anymore. Maybe you really haven't changed anything in the last year or couple years, but you slowly notice that you are gaining weight even though nothing's changed. And many of you might be noticing it specifically in that central belly fat region. You might be trying to exercise more or walking more, increasing your steps, all the things you hear, started strength training perhaps, and it's not helping at all with the weight loss. And obviously, all these things lead to frustration. Maybe asking your doctor, can you check my labs? Is there something wrong with me? Am I in menopause? Is that why I can't lose weight? Is there something off with my labs that is causing me to not have any energy, have mood swings, just not feel well, and not be able to lose weight? Maybe you feel like your hormones are to blame. You might be at that place where it's like, well, I'm at the age now where maybe I'm having some hormonal shifts and maybe I should get that checked out. Maybe that's the reason. And even if you are dealing with what we would classify as imbalanced hormones, or maybe one or two of your hormone labs are off, that's not necessarily the root cause of why you cannot lose weight and why you're feeling the way you feel. It's usually a symptom of other things not in balance in your diet and your lifestyle, which we'll talk about. Maybe you're not sleeping well. In addition to all these things and not being able to lose weight, you aren't sleeping well. Maybe you have low energy throughout the day. Maybe you're crashing every afternoon and just kind of struggling to mentally get through the day. You might also be suffering from digestive issues, anxiety, depression, mood swings. Maybe those are things you've dealt with in the past and it's only getting worse. And again, you haven't really changed anything and not sure why. And something I hear so much from my clients and people that contact me is that you are just confused and overwhelmed by all the nutrition advice and health advice that is out there. Many people end up going to Google and doing searches like, best exercises for this age group, or when I'm in perimenopause, what diet should I be on, or best diet for fat loss, and why can't I lose weight? And all these questions we're asking, and you're just going to get really general recommendations when you go those routes. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is it's just information overload because there's a lot of different people with a lot of different perspectives, some of them more qualified to give advice than others. And so you feel paralyzed as to what your next steps will be. So hopefully tonight we can kind of filter through some of the things for you and give you some more concrete direction moving forward. Another thing I hear quite often from people who contact me is, I feel like I eat pretty healthy. I don't understand why I can't lose weight. So, comparing maybe to how you used to eat, or maybe you've made a lot of changes like not eating fast food, not drinking soda, trying to limit sugar, trying to eat, lower calorie. And in your mind, you feel like you eat pretty healthy, but it's not doing anything. And it's like, if I made these changes, there should be some movement on the scale. So we want to start understanding too that, and I put that on the side there, like what is healthy, right? And the more people I talk to, it's actually interesting to see how we define our diets and then what it actually is. So when you say I eat pretty healthy, like the question is, well, what is a healthy diet and how do I define that? So we're going to talk more about that, but a healthy diet is one that we're meeting our nutrient requirements every day, so both macronutrient and micronutrient, and we're fueling our body properly within our energy balance needs. So a healthy diet doesn't just mean going on a diet or eating less or cutting this out or that out. It's really the whole of it that we have to look at and make sure that we don't have any gaps in our meal patterning. We're not skipping meals or just grazing through the day, but then also we're including the right foods in the right balance. So we'll talk more about that, but that's something I want you to start reflecting on your own diet. You know, what is it? Is it healthy? And is it kind of meeting the standards that we're going to go over tonight? So this is the typical weight loss pathway that I see people going through. And this can lead to a lot of frustration if you've been through this cycle multiple times recently or throughout the course of your life. But it starts at the top. You want to lose weight and you want to improve your health. So you're going to make some sort of effort. And typically where you go when you're trying to make a change like that is towards one of the most popular diets out there. So, maybe your friends have, oh, I did this and I lost this weight, and oh, this person did this and they look amazing. This person online is showing me all these reasons that this is the best diet. So you try one of these things. Weight Watchers is making more of a comeback recently, I'd say. Keto has been buzz for the last couple of years. A lot of people I talk to have done keto and either they lost weight or, it didn't work for them and they got frustrated. Noom or other apps that are more like diet tracking or, coaching kind of apps that is still kind of based in calorie restriction. Maybe you're just tracking your food on your own. I do have people who come to see me and they're like, I've been tracking in my Fitness Pal again or in another food tracking app and just trying to eat, 1,200 calories a day and trying to get more protein. So, you read this stuff online and just kind of they usually just don't feel like they have a concrete reason for the numbers they're picking, but they're trying to follow something, and a lot of them just aren't finding a ton of success in tracking. And that's, again, more of a calorie base. Some people have done Whole30, maybe they felt really good but didn't lose weight, or they lost weight but then gained it back and felt it wasn't sustainable. And we'll talk about why that can be. Intermittent fasting is another one that, again, big promises, not always biggest rewards. And I'll talk about each one of these diets individually later, but the problem with a lot of these is that they're only focusing on one aspect of weight loss when we really need to bring in all the components to help you not just lose weight, but be healthy. So our goal is always to create a strong, healthy body. And then when you do that, your weight loss becomes the outcome of that. But in this cycle, when you try one of these diets, one of two things tends to happen. Either it works for a while, but you can't sustain it and you regain the weight, or you hit your goal and you're like, when you go back to doing what you were doing, or you maintain some of those principles but loosen up a lot, and then eventually the weight comes back on. The second thing is you don't really see the results that you hoped for. So this is where a lot of you might be, like maybe you've done Weight Watchers in the past and it worked for you, and now you signed up again to do it and you didn't lose anything. And I hear that a lot from my clients who contact me, like, I used to do this and it worked, and now I'm doing it again, the exact same thing. I'm following it to a T and it's not working. So you end up feeling like something's wrong with you or your body. And that's why we start thinking the next step, well, I'm going to talk to my doctor, or either I'm going to talk to my doctor or Dr. Google, but I'm getting some sort of information as to what's going on in my body. So are my labs normal? You're asking for maybe hormone panels. You're asking for, checking your cortisol levels. You're asking for vitamin levels. You're asking for thyroid panels. You're asking for just general things to see if there's something off. And this might be the point where you either try a different diet approach, so the arrow back up to one of the popular diets, or you can just give up entirely kind of at this point too if you're not getting the results you hope for, or you might consider a weight loss medication. And some people, because you've been through this cycle so many times, you feel as if that's your only option. Like, I don't know what else to do. It's not like you're just sitting on the couch eating whatever the heck you want all day doing absolutely nothing and saying I need a weight loss medication. You've tried the things and you're feeling like your body is failing you. So that's where you go to the step of maybe I need one of these things. And you may or may not qualify for that, or you may or may not choose to go that route. So that's why you might try another diet again. But if you do go that route and choose weight loss medication, typically you have more rapid weight loss. But the problem, and I'm going to talk more about this later, is that you're not really learning to change your habits. So no one is sitting down and explaining to you, okay, if you have insulin resistance, for example, what does that mean? And how do you need to change your diet based on that? It's not just a caloric restriction diet that you need to be on. It's going to be different, right? And that's why you can feel so frustrated because you're not all these diets you've tried are not the right one for your body. You're also not taught how to change your habits. So you haven't changed your diet to be correct, but then you're not changing your habits. So again, in your mind, you're doing all the things and you're eating healthy, but it might not be the right approach for your body. And that's why it can feel so defeating for the effort you're putting in. But honestly, once you get the right plan, which we're going to talk about tonight, you're going to feel like so free. Like, oh gosh, I finally found the right information and plan for my body. And I'm working with my body's not working against me. But another problem with these weight loss medications and any type of extreme rapid weight loss, so we can talk about this in the sense of like a very low calorie diet, like some of the fast types of diets where it's a liquid diet, you're eating like 5 to 800 calories a day. Again, not changing your habits, but you're losing weight and or weight loss medications like Ozempic or something similar. You're losing almost half of the weight that you're losing is lean mass. So let's say you lose 20 pounds, 8 to 10 of those pounds could be muscle mass. So when you have a large amount of weight loss, it's normal to lose some fat and some muscle. But if you're not eating enough protein or doing high amount of strength training or enough strength training to break down muscle so that you can build more muscle, those pounds, while it seems really cool to be like, I lost 20 pounds, I lost 30 pounds, it makes you feel really good. Metabolically, it's not helping you as much on the inside as it would if you had lost that in a sustainable, healthy way and you lost fat mass and kept your lean mass. So, lean mass is what supports our skeletal system, but it's metabolically active, meaning that that's what is helping to regulate your metabolism. So, when we lose our lean mass, as you get to your goal weight, your metabolism is now so much lower. You go off the medication and then you go back to the first step where you eventually regain it because, and you think it's because you're just, oh, it's because I'm eating more now, but it's really part of it is because your metabolism is so much slower and so much less efficient. So the longevity organ that we have that we've been given is our lean mass, and we want to keep that. We don't want to be losing that as we're losing weight. So that's one of the dangers of those medications. But again, sometimes you feel like that's your only option. So we're going to come back to a lot of that information, but I hope you can see yourself at some point in this pathway. Most of you have probably been at one of these steps or all of them once or more in your life. But I want you to know that it's not your fault that you've been stuck in that cycle because honestly, when you're in that first step of like, I want to make a change, those are the options that are presented to you. It's like, okay, here's a list of one of these diets. Pick the one that you think is going to work best, right? And that's all the information you really have. But what has never happened is no one has ever taught you how to eat. Just eat healthy and care for your body. And yeah, a lot of diets have elements of that where it's like obviously you're eating more protein or more vegetables and like more whole foods, but there's also a lot of people out there who are like, oh, you can eat whatever you want, just eat less of it. And if you have metabolic issues, that can work for some people if you don't have stuff going on, but for you people who are like done the things and it's not working, it's not good advice for you. No one has really taught you that food is more than just calories and energy balance. There's a lot more that goes into nutrition and how it affects your body and how it affects your ability to lose fat mass specifically. And that's one of the things I'm going to go over tonight is learning how to actually eat in the right patterning, in the right balance, and then what types of foods we want to be choosing to really optimize our metabolic rate, optimize our health. And when your body is healthy, weight loss becomes so much easier. It's no longer a game of forcing off pounds. But if we've never been given the information on how to actually keep our body healthy, we've only been told how to lose weight and only focused on pounds. That's why as you get older, you get stuck in that cycle of not being able to lose because eventually your body just kind of poops out on you and is done with the calories. It's more than that. So a lot of you maybe have talked to your doctors, and just being completely honest, doctors are not trained to help you in lifestyle medicine. Just like I'm not trained on all the top medications, and I know a lot of medications, but I don't know if you came to me and be like, here's all my symptoms, what are the best meds? I'm not trained in that. That's not my job. But I am trained in lifestyle and nutrition medicine and medical nutrition therapy, whereas doctors are not. So when you ask them about, well, what should I do? I'm gaining weight. They're going to run the labs. If everything looks good, they're going to be like, I don't know how to help you. And that's when you should be referred to someone like me, who's a dietitian that can actually help you identify what's going on in your body and give you a plan that is going to work with your body, not against you. So that's why you can feel there's a dead end, because sometimes you just get off the cuff recommendations like try the Mediterranean diet, eat 1,200 calories, just exercise more. Some doctors are more savvy than others, but the information can be inconsistent depending on who your practitioner is. So what you really need to learn is how to get out of what I call the diet mindset or the diet mentality. And that's where all of us are kind of shunted, especially in this country, with with the normal eating habits being so skewed. Unfortunately, healthy eating is considered a diet. It's being on a diet, when really that's how all of our diets should be. Both children, adults, older adults, no matter who you are, diet should be consisted of nutrient dense foods that are meeting our needs for our general health. Our body needs nutrition to function well, and that's what our diet should be made up of. So instead of thinking diet mentality of I got to do unsustainable things that I don't enjoy, starve my body, restrict things, suppress my appetite to get pounds off, right? We want to shift instead to what we call the healthy person mentality, and we want to become healthy people, but we have to first learn what that means. So we have to learn how to eat to support your health and wellness. We need to understand what nutrients my body needs to function and what foods are those found in. And then how do I apply that to my daily life and do that in a consistent way? So when we focus on our health, your body will follow and give you the weight loss, and you're going to feel so much better. You have more energy, you're going to sleep better, you have more mental focus. So many women I talk to are dealing with like brain fog and anxiety and mood instability and digestive issues, and it's like all of this works together. Okay, when we correct the diet and the lifestyle as a whole, we get you on the right exercise patterning, all of that's going to start falling back into place, and you won't have issues that you're dealing with, and you'll be able to lose weight. So it's really good. So the revised weight loss pathway is okay. I want to lose weight, but instead of just going to one of those popular diets and then feeling frustrated and just trying to do things for short term, we really want to learn how to fuel our body. What nutrients do I need to support metabolism? How do I control my insulin levels throughout the day? And I'm going to talk about insulin resistance, but many women, especially, and men, as they get into their late 30s, 40s, and beyond, are dealing with insulin resistance. And that is a major reason why you can't lose weight. So we need to learn how to eat to control that and make sure we're not getting insulin resistance or on the path to get it, so that you are balancing your hormones, you're feeling energized, you're not having cravings for sugar, and you love the foods that you're eating. So my goal when I help people establish healthy eating patterns is not just get pounds off. I also don't want you to feel hungry. I want you to feel full and satisfied. I don't want you to be craving stuff. Many of you have given yourself an identity of, well, I can't lose weight because I love carbs. I love to snack. I love ice cream. I love sugar. I'm not a breakfast eater. I don't do this. I do this. I don't do that. Whatever you've told yourself as to why you can't lose weight, it's usually because you've never experienced eating in a consistent, balanced way to where you don't have the cravings and you are feeling energized by your food. And when you learn how to do that, all of those things that you thought were true about yourself start going away. I can't tell you the number of people who are like, I would have labeled myself as a carb addict or a sugar addict. And like, I honestly don't care about having those foods anymore. Like, I could eat them, but I'm not dependent on them like I was previously. So it is possible to break from the cycle, but it's not willpower. It's addressing the biology that goes underneath it. And when you correct your meal patterning and your meal balance and your food choice, now we're eating to work with our body, and our body's not constantly signaling to you, like, I need more, I need more, I need more. In combination with the right eating pattern, we want to incorporate strength training, because as we're losing fat mass, like I said before, we don't want to be losing that lean mass. So pounds on the scale, although we're all very wired to look at those numbers, is not an accurate measure of success with your diet. Now, if you're losing absolutely nothing, we need to make some adjustments, even if you're eating better. And that's a mistake some people can make. They're eating good foods, but they're still not eating it in the right balance. But If you're dropping weight very rapidly, you're probably losing a lot of lean mass, and that's not what we want. Healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week, and it might feel slow. And some weeks you might not lose any, but then some weeks you might lose more. So it's not even a linear trend always. It can be more of a stair step, but that's just your body adjusting and being okay with the new weight. But what they've found in research, when you lose weight at that rate, you don't typically regain it, especially if you're eating well consistently and don't, when you are incorporating the strength training. Versus when you drop pounds really quickly, again, it feels really good to say, oh, I lost 20, 30, 50 pounds on this medication, but are you going to keep it off, right? And then what did you have to lose to do that? In addition to fat, you lost a lot of lean mass. And from a longevity standpoint and a metabolic standpoint and a hormone standpoint, again, we don't want to be losing that lean mass. So it can have some long-term consequences, even though in the moment it feels really good. So we're going to dive into a whole bunch more of this, but I want to introduce myself real quick for those of you who don't know me or have not worked with me before. My name is Laura Berger. I'm a registered and licensed dietitian nutritionist. I've worked with hundreds of women, men, families, couples to help them establish consistent healthy eating patterns with the lens of understanding how to get your body healthy so that you can lose weight and achieve your goals. So I look beyond just pounds on the scale. I'll look at nourishing you well and teaching you the habits you need to nourish well and then be able to live well, have energy, feel vibrant. So much of what many of you are dealing with and chalking it up to hormones and age and just being stressed and tired is actually rooted in not knowing how to truly care for yourself as we get into our 30s, 40s, and beyond. And once we learn how to do that, I love being able to help kind of open your eyes to what possibilities await you. You're going to realize that you are not a victim to these things, to the aging process and all these things. You can actually feel really good. So I've used my methods to help counsel so many people to better health and weight loss, and I love being able to bring it to you so that you can experience living life fully and health in the way that it should be. So I originally was trained in exercise science and I went on to study dietetics at Ohio State. And then I also have my master's in human nutrition from Ohio State and did my training there as well. And then I have additional training in integrative and functional medicine. So what that means is I'm always looking at the root causes, why is this actually happening? If you're having an imbalance, why? I want to figure that out. So I run my own private practice in addition to running online programming and group coaching programming. So I have a lot of experience working one-on-one, and I've developed methods that are based in the struggles that I see and the solutions that I need to lead you to. So really happy to be able to share this information with you tonight. So let's really jump in and get to some of the root of what is actually going on. So as promised, kind of looking into the topics of why you don't have energy and why you can't lose weight. I'd say those are two of the biggest things that I hear when someone contacts me. A lot of people have already been trying to do stuff on their own. Maybe they've started exercising. Maybe again, they've gone to their doctor. Maybe they've tried different diets and they're really struggling as to what the problem is. So I've highlighted a couple things here and we're going to dive into some of these a little bit deeper. But the first one is going to be low vitamin mineral intake. And this is often underestimated because again, with nutrition, we're often trained to just think calories. Like, oh, I look at this package, it's only 100 calories, it's only 150 calories. But really, if you look at packages, every package is around the same calorie range. If you notice, go home and look in your pantry and see they're all between like maybe 70 and 150, 200 calories because we're programmed if we see a higher calorie number than that to freak out, right? But we want to understand, it's all based on serving size. So we want to understand what nutritional value is that food providing me besides just energy? So calories is only one small measure of it. We first have to always think about what value is it providing my body? Is it helping my metabolism? Is it supporting my bigger goals of keeping my body? So many people are under consuming nutrients. They're not hitting their goals for the day. And a healthy body, when we define a healthy diet, is hitting your micronutrient goals each day, your vitamins and minerals, in addition to hitting the right amount of protein and all that. The next thing, why you don't have energy, why you can't lose weight, blood sugar instability, insulin resistance. So I've highlighted that one because, and then inflammation, which can be caused by food, and then also elevated insulin levels. Some of you may go to your doctor and you're like, yeah, well, my glucose levels are fine. My hemoglobin A1C is normal, or maybe pre-diabetic, but maybe normal. So I don't have that problem. I don't have diabetes. I don't have insulin resistance, but those tests do not measure for insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is, in my opinion, the silent epidemic that I see people struggling with for years before those other labs are even altered, because your system is working, but it's working overtime. In order to keep your blood sugar stabilized, you are pumping out a lot of extra insulin, and that's causing you to have energy crashes, headaches, feeling like you crave sugar, 3 p.m. crashes, maybe you feel really tired 2 hours after your meals, maybe just kind of mood instability throughout the day, even poor sleep. And not falling asleep well, waking up at night can be related to blood sugar imbalance. You will not be able to lose weight if you have insulin resistance and don't know it, and all you're doing is trying to cut calories or eat a little bit cleaner, because insulin is keeping you in fat storage mode. So we'll talk more about that, but that's a massive reason for both why you don't have energy and why you can't lose weight. I can't tell you the number of people that I help with that specific problem, and they didn't even know they had it, and they just, it's night and day in their ability to then lose weight and how much better they feel, how much better they think, and their energy levels and their sleep and all those things. The next one is meals and meal patterning are not balanced. So even if your food choices are pretty good or you feel like you're eating healthy, you might not be eating balanced meals throughout the day. You might be eating just something quick in the morning, like a yogurt or a bar or just coffee with stuff in it. And then, lunch is kind of haphazard, and then you're chunking all of your energy in the second half of the day. So even if calorically you're kind of appropriate for the day, your patterning is off and your body's not well fueled throughout the day. And that can lead you to not making the best food choices and not give you the nutrition that you need consistently through the day. So we want to give consistent energy so that you're fueled, your mood is stable, and you feel really good throughout the day. A lot of times we're like afraid to eat early in the day, like we're being good by not eating a lot, but all it ends up happening is we eat more later and eat ice cream at 9 p.m. So we just want to take those poor quality calories and put them earlier in the day so that you're well fueled and then you're not having cravings on the second end of the day. And then the last one is body composition, loss of lean tissue. It's actually pretty amazing. So in addition to our 12-week nutrition and fitness program, we have our Fit from Home workout program. And some people just start there where they're just doing the workouts, and even just with the workouts and not really, maybe just mildly changing their diet, not, just trying to eat a little bit better. The number one thing that people tell us is, I can't believe how much more energy I have from moving my body. And you would think like, okay, energy expenditure would make me more tired, but it actually energizes you. So when you're more active and you're strength training, it makes you more metabolically active and you are having more energy in your body. So that can be a massive contributor when you start strength training. But because we're losing lean tissue as we age, which I'll talk about, and you maybe aren't getting enough protein, you're going to find that your energy levels are not great. But that can definitely be something that helps in addition to those other things I talk about. So when we bring all these four of these components together, your hormones are going to start balancing back out. You're going to be able to start losing weight, and you're going to have more energy, and your health is going to improve because we're doing the things consistently that we need for our body to be healthy. So many of you might be at a place where you're asking the questions, are my hormones to blame? And some of you maybe have had altered labs, like, oh, my testosterone's low. That's why I feel so horrible. Or my progesterone's low, or this is out of whack, or my estrogen is dropping because I'm in menopause, or, some men like low testosterone. And that can absolutely be part of the reason you don't feel well. But that doesn't just randomly go wrong, okay? Unless obviously in menopause you have shifts going on, but some of these extremely low levels for where you're at in that process are that are abnormal is not just random. Same thing with insulin resistance. It's not just random. So we often associate weight gain with this hormonal shift, both in what we call perimenopause or menopause. So perimenopause in women is like the pre-menopause, and that can start as early as 35, which is why a lot of women start experiencing those symptoms around that time. And then menopause, obviously, anywhere into your 40s and 50s, you can experience those symptoms, and it's varying degrees for different people. But we often associate weight gain with that time period, and we blame those hormones for the reason that you are gaining weight. But when we actually look, they've research this, when they actually look at weight gain over time in adults, it's pretty linear. It's, pretty steady. We don't see a spike in menopause. So there must be other factors happening than just hormones. But because that gets blamed, a lot of times then we try to band-aid it by going on hormones. And sometimes it helps with weight loss. It absolutely can if you have a true imbalance. We also have to understand that your diet and your lean mass and your lifestyle also impacts your hormones. So you can take hormones or try to patch it up. Some doctors just recommend going on birth control for women in their 40s to try to balance things out. That's not really a solution, that's a band-aid. We want to understand how to care for our body so that your body can naturally regulate itself and we're not just band-aiding things. So after the age of 30, everybody, men and women, start losing lean mass, your muscle, lean muscle tissue, at a rate of about 1% per year. As you get into menopause and you start having drops in estrogen levels, that rate of lean mass loss starts to accelerate. And because of that, your lean tissue is responsible for controlling your metabolism. When you have more lean tissue, it increases metabolism. It can also help increase estrogen in your body, and it also increases insulin sensitivity. So as we lose muscle mass, you haven't changed anything, but you're still eating the same. Maybe you have some more stress too in your life as you get into, that age range. And then you start putting on more fat mass. Well, now more fat mass is going to lead to more insulin resistance, which is going to lead to more fat mass. So you have multiple things going on, but a lot of it is starting with the fact that we have not maintained our lean mass. And a lot of women, especially, are not in a place where they are actively strength training because we've all been told just go on the elliptical or the Peloton bike and burn calories to lose weight. And that's not actually true and good advice. A lot of people are still riding the body they had in their 20s too. Like maybe you were an athlete, especially like men. Like I used to lift, I used to be really active. I hear that a lot from guys. And then life happens and boom, 10 years go by and you don't even realize your body is completely changed. You don't have the strength that you had previously. You can't just maintain it based on willpower. You have to actively strength train. So this lack of lean mass is a huge component. And there's not enough awareness that this is part of the reason why your body is feeling like it's failing you and you aren't able to lose weight. However, I will say this with a caveat because a lot of people go this route. Well, I just need to start strength training and I'm going to lose weight. That's not going to cut it at this point. If you already have the imbalances and you've already gained the weight, just starting to strength train is not going to help you lose that stubborn weight. It has to be done in combination with the right diet approach that includes everything I've kind of talked about so far, but also elevated protein so that you can actually build lean mass. Just exercising alone in a low protein status does not build lean mass. So it's really a twofold combination that has to happen. So when you have this lack of lean mass and you're losing it, you're going to develop probably more insulin resistance and hormone imbalance. That's going to make you feel not so great, energy levels, the mood swings, all that kind of stuff. And then you can start putting on that belly fat. It might come out of nowhere within the, over a year or two. You might notice, man, my body's just completely changed. So we recommend strength training at least 3 times a week. So just doing like 10 to 20-minute circuits twice a week is not enough. It's good, but it's not enough if you are truly dealing with some of these imbalances that I'm talking about and you're really struggling to lose weight. You need ideally 3 solid days where you're overloading your muscle for, anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes and getting strength weight bearing exercise. And then you need protein to support that. The last thing I want to mention related to hormones is your stress levels, your cortisol. This is kind of a buzz topic. Many of you maybe have seen online, like, oh, just drink this cortisol cocktail and I lost all this belly fat. Again, I didn't say this enough earlier, but with nutrition, it's never, or it's weight loss in general, it's never just one thing. And when you read stuff online, it's, oh, maybe I just need this one supplement, or oh, maybe I just need to drink this cortisol calming cocktail. I just need to add in this one food. I just need to eat more protein. I just need to strength train. It's never just one thing. And that's why you can feel like you're hitting dead end after dead end because no one's ever taught you how to bring all the correct information together. So stress and cortisol can absolutely be a piece of the puzzle, but just taking a supplement, which is all a lot of people are selling, is can be helpful. Like ashwagandha, for example, it can be helpful to calm the cortisol response, but we have to also understand natural lifestyle factors that can help, like going outside and getting morning sunlight. Like that actually is a natural way to regulate your cortisol. Food. elevate your cortisol levels. If you're eating a lot of high insulin spiking foods, high like processed foods, essentially high sugar, quick digesting carbs, that can place a higher cortisol load on your body. Okay. So there's other things besides just calming cortisol. We also have to get to the root cause of why it's a problem. But in this picture here, and this is something I go into more depth in our 12-week program. But when you are constantly shunting to your cortisol pathway from life factors or food or lack of exercise or getting rid of stressors, that can throw off your hormones as well, and it can steal from your sex hormone balance. So we tend to see like low progesterone, low testosterone when people have a lot of stress and high cortisol. But we can work on improving that naturally by doing the right things in our diet and lifestyle. So there's definitely some things related to hormones that have to be addressed, but the reason you have hormone imbalance can be fixed without just always having to take hormones. Excuse me, vitamin mineral deficiencies are another one. Your body, in order to make hormones and function well, needs that nutrient dense diet. Again, not just calories, not little 100-calorie snack packs. We need nutrition, vitamins, minerals from vegetables, lean protein sources, whole starches, healthy fats. Those are all things that our body needs to function well and make healthy hormones. So I want to dive into a little bit the difference between doing a weight loss medication route and the right nutrition plan. Because even if you're not really considering a weight loss medication, some of you might be hearing about it. It's a pretty hot topic right now, and just hearing, man, all these people are losing all this weight. Maybe I need to do that, right? Nothing seems to be working for me. But I want you to know that the reasons the medications are working, we can mimic that in our diet naturally. But again, no one's probably told you how to do that. But it's not just one thing. These are just pieces of the puzzle. And a lot of the things I'm going to tell you how to do it without medication play into that bigger picture of just understanding what it means to eat healthy. So, how do the medications work? One, it reduces your appetite. So, it's an appetite suppressant, which is going to obviously help reduce grazing and overeating. So, I've had people come to work with me one on one who either were on this medication or had taken it and stopped due to side effects. And they basically said, like, you just physically can't eat a lot. And it cut out a lot of the extra food that they had been eating because they just didn't really feel hungry. It increases a hormone called GLP-1, which I'm going to talk about in a second. GLP-1 is something our body produces. It controls appetites and helps regulate that. So it helps increase that so that it keeps us fuller longer and it slows down the rate of digestion and gastric motility. So because of this, it helps improve insulin resistance and for some other reasons too. But the problem with these medications is, again, it can just be seen as a quick fix. It's not really giving you a long-term solution. And some people's mindset is, well, let me just get the weight off real fast and then I'll start exercising and then I'll be healthy. But if you get your body healthy first, you can also lose the weight. So GI complications and side effects, a lot of people have to stop taking it because of that. There are a variety of other side effects you can look up on your own. The lean mass loss, I mentioned, the rapid weight loss is not a good way to lose weight because you're losing a lot of lean mass. So you do need to really make sure you have high protein and strength training when doing those medications, but a lot of people are not doing that. And because it can make you not feel hungry and under consume too much, like too low calories, and you're losing a lot of weight, you're not going to be getting all the nutrients you need. And it can actually lead to more sugar cravings and things because your body is starved for energy. It can also lead to more of a saggy type of appearance because you're losing that lean mass. So you lose all these pounds, but then you're like, oh, like I look good, but I also don't look very healthy. And then people are like, well, shoot, I got to start exercising now. Okay. So how do we do all those things naturally without medication? So the medication, again, slows down gastric motility. So it slows down the rate at which food is moving through your gastrointestinal tract. We can do that with nutrition. So by eating complete balanced meals instead of just eating little snacks all day and trying to eat as little as possible, when we actually sit down and eat a meal that is composed of high protein and fiber, so like lots of vegetables, for example, that have a lot of fiber, fiber keeps food in your stomach longer and it slows down the rate at which you're absorbing glucose into your bloodstream and the rate at which the food is going to be moving through your gastrointestinal tract. When you do that, you're not going to feel hungry, okay? I just ate a huge thing of vegetables before this with some protein on it, and I'm stuffed. Like, I'm not going to be hungry for a couple hours. Like, that fills me up. So, there's ways to do it. And then protein also keeps food in your stomach longer. But if you're just eating little bits of carbohydrate throughout the day, some fruit here, some popcorn here, a granola bar there, a couple bites of this here, you're probably digesting it very quickly. So don't be afraid to eat those full meals that are really nutrient dense, lots of fiber, lots of protein. It's going to help you avoid hunger, and it's also going to help avoid those insulin spikes and then control those insulin levels so that you can burn fat. So when insulin is not high, you're going to be able to burn fat, and that's why those medications help with uh, weight loss because they're correcting insulin resistance. So we also have to learn the right types of carbohydrates to eat, eating more vegetables, not just eating like grains or whole grains or smaller portions of, sugar and stuff like that. We're really eating things that aren't spiking our insulin levels. So there are also foods that can naturally increase GLP-1. We'll talk about that in a second. So remember, that's the hormone that helps control appetite and feelings of fullness. We can naturally increase that without taking a medication, which is pretty cool. And then we want to optimize our vitamin mineral intake. When we're eating foods that provide a lot of nutritional value, that is going to make your body feel full and satisfied, and you're going to get rid of the cravings. So one of the reasons people tend to choose medications is because they're like, I can't stop craving things. I can't get rid of the sugar cravings. I guarantee if you learn how to eat consistently in a balanced way and you're eating all the right things you should be eating at each meal, and you're not eating excess stuff in between, and you're balancing out your blood sugar, that's going to go away. But again, people just tell you to stop eating that stuff and it has to be willpower. Willpower is impossible without correcting the biology first. You first have to correct the biology and why you're craving those things, which is usually a lack of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and then unstable blood sugar. And when we do that, you're going to feel really good. Okay. And then there are some supplements that can naturally increase GLP-1. I'm not going to go over those today because I don't want everybody just running out and buying them because, again, that's a small piece of the puzzle. But there are things that we can do if somebody really is dealing with insulin resistance that can help increase insulin sensitivity naturally, that are very effective in the same way that a lot of medications would be. And then, of course, we want to work on gaining lean mass because lean mass obviously makes you look healthy and strong, feel strong, prevent injuries, keeps your skeletal muscle strong, but then it's going to help with metabolic rate staying high so that you're not losing all this weight and then having a slow metabolism. And it's going to help you regulate your hormones, and it's going to help you maintain the weight loss. One of the reasons people gain back the weight is because they've lost all their lean mass. You're doing all this weight loss stuff and you're not maintaining lean mass, so your metabolism is so slow. You want to keep your metabolism really high and functioning so that when you get to that lower weight, it's easier to maintain it and you're not regaining the weight. So a couple natural ways that we can increase this hormone GLP-1. So again, this is naturally occurring in the body. It helps regulate your blood sugar levels, your digestion, and your appetite. So fiber, I mentioned, is going to help slow down digestion, but it's going to help stimulate the intestinal cells to release GLP-1, that hormone. And that's going to help you feel full and satisfied. It's also going to reduce that insulin response once we have that GLP-1 present. The reason a lot of people might not have enough GLP-1 is because their diet is not made up of high fiber, high protein, high nutrient dense sources. Protein, when it's digested, it breaks down into amino acids and peptides, and amino acids and peptides also stimulate the release of GLP-1 in the intestinal tract. So we're going to have more of that hormone present naturally. Strength training, in addition to all the benefits I've mentioned with weight loss, can help reduce menopause symptoms, can help balance out your hormones, increase your metabolism. It also can help increase GLP-1, exercise can. And then healthy fats also increase GLP-1. So notice we don't see like a lot of processed foods on here. We don't see sugar. We see whole, fiber-rich, natural foods and proteins. So those are just a couple ways to naturally increase it. And when we understand the mechanism of the medications and why they're working, we can learn how to mimic that in our diet so that we are eating in a way that is really making our body get back in balance. So the way that I have structured my program is I've developed something called the core method, and I absolutely love it because it brings together all of the things that need to happen for you to lose weight. So one of the reasons you might have struggled to lose weight in the past is because most diets only focus on one aspect of the core method. So the core method stands for consistency, optimizing food choice, ratios, which is your calories and your macronutrients, and then eating balanced meals. When we only focus on one aspect, you're typically left defeated. You don't get the results you want, or you do, but it's not sustainable. So we want to do the O, the R, and the E consistently, whether we're traveling, whether it's the weekend, throughout the week. We want to develop consistent, healthy eating patterns. And then we want to consistently be strength training in the context of the food choice. So some diets, for example, let's take intermittent fasting, since that's a popular one that a lot of people gravitate towards that may or may not work for you. And a lot of people I'm hearing it's not really working for them, or in the way that they are promised. So that's just time restricted eating, like eat between, 12 and 6 or 12 and 8 or something like that. So that would fall into the meal patterning category, but it's not taking into account the other components. So it's not taking into account food choice or how food impacts your blood sugar, how nutrient dense it is, um, how it's regulating your hormones, any of that kind of stuff. It's just looking at time restricted. So you're only going to get so far with that. Same thing with optimizing food choice. A lot of people fall into this category. I have people come in, they're doing all organic foods. They really value ingredients. They're making their own breads. They're eating organic dairy. They're, not eating out. They don't drink sugary beverages, all this wonderful things. They're eating, trying to eat vegetables and proteins, but they might not be doing it in the right balance. So something like Whole30 would fall into this category where it's like, here's a list of really whole nutrient dense foods to eat. Just eat them as much as you want type of thing, and you'll be fine. Keto, it's like eat these foods as much as you want. You're optimizing your food choice, but you're doing it in a way that is not honoring the meal patterning. Still haven't been taught how to construct your day. So you might just be grazing all day, creating nutritional deficiencies as a result. I can't tell you the number of people when they tell me what they were doing on keto, I'm just like, you're just like eating cheese and nuts all day. Like eat drinking cream. It's not like a really nutrient dense diet, right? You're just focused on eating certain foods. Same thing with Whole30. It's like, maybe you don't understand still how to structure your day or your meals, and maybe you're still just eating too much. Okay, so that's where the ratios component comes in. And a lot of diets fall in the ratios category, like Weight Watchers or Noom or any type of calorie counting, calorie restriction diet. You're only looking at eating X number of calories. The macro diet also falls in here. Like, I need to eat this many grams of protein a day. Okay, great. You're just given these numbers, but food is a lot more than numbers, right? Broccoli is a carbohydrate, but so are Oreos. But they both count in the carb section, right? But we have to understand that they impact your body very differently. So when you're only looking at your ratios, again, you're probably going to be left defeated because you're not optimizing your food choice and you still haven't been taught how to eat consistently through the day. So just because you're ratios look great at the end of the day, you might not get anywhere with your weight loss because you're just chugging pure protein drinks all day to hit your protein number and calling it a day. Okay. So we want to understand how to do all this consistently, but how to eat balanced meals and pattern our day correctly, what foods we should be doing to pattern our day, and in what ratios. How many calories should I be eating, and what macronutrient ratios? So we want to be eating the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbohydrates from the right sources, and that's going to help rebalance your body. So when I hear a lot of talk about hormones and hormone imbalance, I just want to scream like, we got to talk about insulin. Insulin's a hormone, and it's not the one that anyone ever wants to talk about. They want to talk about cortisol, or they want to talk about their, menopausal hormones shifting. But insulin is a hormone, and when it is out of balance, it can throw off your other hormones. So let me give you a really good example of what's going on when you're spiking your insulin, and then why food choice matters and what is happening with insulin resistance. So I have two examples here. Well, this is an isocaloric situation, two same amounts of calories, 100 calories of cookies, and actually that's more than 100 calories of Oreos. I think 100 calories of Oreos is like 1 1/4 Oreos, plus 100 calories of broccoli, which is actually like 2 cups of broccoli, like a large amount of broccoli. Okay. So you get a lot more food, just a side note, when you're doing something like that. But both 100 calories, both carbohydrates. Okay. These are both considered carbohydrate sources. But when you eat 100 calories of something that has added sugar and it's quick digesting, so it's not a whole food source, it's going to be digested and raise your blood sugar very quickly. It's just absorbed in your body. There's not a lot of digestive process that has to happen. There's no fiber, there's no increase of GLP-1. Your blood sugar just rises. Because of that, your body has to get your blood sugar back into normal range. So it's going to release the hormone insulin to get it back down into normal range. The amount of insulin released is equivalent to the amount of sugar in your blood and the amount that it needs to get your blood sugar back into normal range. So higher amount of glucose, again, independent of calories, the more insulin that's released. That's going, because you just had this mass insulin release and this big sugar spike, you're going to crash. Usually 1 to 2 hours after you eat, you might, if you're noticing that pattern of like getting really tired, having brain fog, energy crashes. People will even say they're having a sugar crash, mood swings, anxiety. Those can all be triggered by this massive shift in your blood sugar. But what happens when you have insulin resistance? And this is that silent epidemic that you maybe have dealing with for years, and that's why you're gaining weight. You at that level of sugar release insulin, your body doesn't receive the signal. It's resistant to the signal. So your sugar can't get out of your bloodstream. So your body panics and produces more insulin to get your blood sugar back into normal range. So it does get back down, but you had to release extra insulin to do that. Like I said earlier, it's working overtime. High circulating insulin is signaling your body to store fat. And when we have too much sugar in our blood and our body doesn't have anywhere to put it, it has to store it somewhere. And a lot of it does end up getting stored as excess fat mass in that central region, that visceral fat, that inflammatory fat that is not desirable to have from a health standpoint. And then obviously, no one wants to have excess belly fat. Okay. So, how do we correct this? We don't just cut out all carbohydrates. We don't just stop eating. We shift to eating the right types of foods. I can still eat 100 calories of carbohydrate, but it's from broccoli. And that is going to give me a very slow release of glucose. Instead of my blood sugar spiking, it's now a gradual rise in your blood sugar, which means my insulin response is very low, which means I'm not going to get a sugar crash. I'm going to get a nice gradual rise to my next rise and then fall to my next meal. And I'm going to feel energized. I'm going to feel full and satisfied. I'm not going to be craving more snack foods. So many diets just tell you just eat less, eat as little as possible throughout the day. That is completely backwards. You need to eat lots of the right things that are not spiking your insulin, not super high in calories and energy, but is giving you the right protein and carbohydrates and healthy fats that your body needs to function. So we want to shift to those slower digesting carbohydrates that have a lot of fiber, vegetables, whole food sources, even like whole grains. If you have insulin resistance, you have to be careful with. So just eating a plate of brown rice or whole grain bread is not helpful if you have insulin resistance. You really want to work on shifting to the ones that are digesting very slowly and have a higher nutritional value, like more vegetables, even fruits and starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes would be a better option than a lot of like rices and stuff like that. So we want to shift to the slow digesting carbs, pair it with protein to keep food in your stomach longer, healthy fats as well. And then we want to reduce the load that our body sees at one time. We never want our blood sugar getting really high, like drinking juice or sodas or a latte with a bunch of sugar and sweeteners in it, or eating, a massive plate of rice or pasta. If you have insulin resistance, it's going to hold you back from being able to burn fat. So that is a huge key. When you correct that hormone, many of your other hormonal issues start to regulate and work themselves out. So looking at the E of the core method, eating balanced meals, we want to look at your meal patterning throughout the day, and then we want to look at balancing your meal and applying that balance to each eating point in an equal way. So instead of eating 150 calories for breakfast, eating, a salad with no protein for lunch, and then just loading snacks and dinner and snacks later on, we want to consistently nourish ourselves throughout the day. So breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, you don't have to eat breakfast at the crack of dawn, but you should eat something that contains protein in the morning. And a lot of people think they're eating high protein and they're not. 6 grams of protein is not high protein. One egg is not high protein. It has protein, it's not high protein. We should be more, depending on the person, like 30, 35, 40 grams of protein per meal. For men, that might even be higher. But we should be applying that to each eating point and then padding that with as many non-starchy vegetables as we can. And this is where we're not going to get into all this tonight, but I have lots of strategies on how to do that. And that's where coaching comes in handy because I can help you with how to implement these correctly. But I love this framework because it's helping you achieve balance, and you can apply this anywhere, whether you're at a potluck, boom, I can balance my plate. Whether you're traveling, eating out, at a luncheon, whatever, making food for yourself. It's not so much about following the perfect recipes and putting all this energy into meal prepping. It's really about how do I balance my plate and make sure that I'm getting enough quantity of the right things so that I'm stabilizing blood sugar and I'm eating nutrient dense foods throughout the day. So this framework is really healthy, the balanced plate. This is what I kind of use to help educate my clients. And this is actually what I teach first before we get into the ratios and how much protein. I just teach you how to eat because that's something that no one has really taught you, and most diets don't teach you how to pattern things correctly. Once we do that and then we go and track, your numbers usually are falling where we need them to fall, and then it's just little adjustments at that point. So the biggest thing I want to communicate tonight is that this is possible for you. And I know so many of you have probably been, yeah, but I have this diagnosis, or I have a thyroid issue, or I have PCOS, or I've been overweight my whole life, and I have tried all the things and it just doesn't work. But when you have the right information and you're doing things in a way that is correct, that's working with your body, not against you, it's absolutely possible for you. And I was making a list of, some of the people that I wanted to highlight tonight that have been through our program. And I was like, my list was getting really long. I was like, I need to just cut this down to a few people, but just want to share a couple examples. We have one person in our program right now who she's almost through her first 12 weeks, and she came in feeling really low energy, brain fog, like falling asleep at work. She had the heaviest weight she'd ever been. She has diagnosed PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome. So we know she has hormone imbalance. She's not just guessing, it's been diagnosed. She has insulin resistance. She's been working with a dietitian, not really seen any progress. She came into our program. She started doing the strength training 3 times a week following our strength training program. And with our home workouts, and then she started following our eating plan and being extremely consistent. She's no longer having the headaches, the brain fog. She has a lot more energy during the day. She's sleeping better. She also had a lot of digestive issues. That's gone away, and she's now down over 20 pounds within that. Like, I think she's at like week 11. Just shows you what's possible. We have another person who did our program last year, and I love telling her story because I know a lot of her backstory. She shared that with me, how she had been to the doctor and asked for all the labs, and they're like, nothing's wrong. You're perfectly healthy. And she's like, I don't feel healthy. I have the worst anxiety I've ever had. I'm 42. I've gained 30 pounds. I can't sleep. I have acid reflux. Like, I'm not healthy, right? And she wanted to be healthy. And she jumped into our program. She started doing this. She was even exercising and stuff before. She couldn't lose weight no matter what she did. She jumped into our program. She started doing our strength training 3 times a week. She started eating the way that I had her following, and initially I'm like, you don't even have to track your food. She thought I was crazy. Like, how am I going to lose weight if I'm not tracking my food? But there we go. She started losing weight. She's now, this was last year she did our program, but she's now down over almost 30 pounds. She's back to her goal weight. She looks absolutely phenomenal. She's gained so much lean mass, and she was in a place where it was like, I literally don't know what my next steps are. She had done Noom to a T. She'd done Weight Watchers to a T and lost absolutely no weight. So it's really just the magic combination that you need between the right nutrition information that's not just a diet, it's getting your body healthy, and then the right workouts that go with that to actually regain some of that lean mass and really helping you become a healthy person. I have so many more stories I could share. Like one couple, she has PCOS, she's lost over 30 pounds. Her husband's lost over 50 pounds. We have another woman, she's lost 11 pounds, and she's not seen that weight in years. Like, she was literally coming from, I've done everything and I've not lost any weight. And she's now at the 11 pound mark, and she's still going, corrected her digestive issues, looks amazing. I mean, all these things that are happening for people and is possible for you when you get the right information. So I want to share with you about our 12-week Fit and Healthy for Life program, which is going to take you from, I can't lose the weight no matter what. Maybe I'm dealing with hormone imbalance. Maybe I have all these pre-existing health conditions. Maybe I just don't feel well on a daily basis. And we're going to teach you how to eat and exercise to lose the weight for good. And we're going to coach you through that process, help keep you accountable. We're going to give you all the resources and knowledge that you need to keep your body healthy now and in the future, because it's not just about losing pounds today. It's also about keeping your body well for the future you, for your family. And we all want to be the old people who have the energy and the great grandparents that are, mentally and physically present. And we want to prevent some of the things that we see people going through. And most of what we see older generations going through, even younger generations now, is preventable. And I want you to believe that. So, this program is for you if you are just feeling overwhelmed with what to follow with nutrition and kind of at a loss because maybe you've tried a lot of things and just not really sure what your next step should be and what's actually going to work for you. You might not know if what you're currently doing is the right thing for your body. You're probably struggling to lose weight despite trying to be more active, trying to eat better. Maybe you're not able to do the things you want in life, whether it's go shopping and feel good about the clothes you're wearing and buying, or go on certain trips and, go hiking and be active or run around and keep up with your kids, like all these things that you're being held back from. There's nothing better than being able to like lift up your kids and just feel really strong doing that. Like that's a really cool feeling. And I want everybody to be able to experience that. Um, and that's how it should be, even if you're getting older. So maybe you're struggling with health issues as a result of your lifestyle and you're not really sure how to correct it. And maybe you've struggled to stay consistent. A lot of people will start something and then they fall off. And again, a lot of that is because you don't enjoy what you're doing. It's not balanced and you don't have people supporting you along the way to help you make change. Changing your behaviors with nutrition is one of the hardest things because food is more than just energy intake. There's a lot of emotion wrapped up in that, but you can absolutely change your identity and become a healthy person. You don't have to stay in those old identities that you've had as a child of like overeater, picky eater, or, you know, overweight, whatever those might be for you. So the Fit and Healthy for Life 12-week program, we are combining our fitness and nutrition to give you the right combination to lose weight. So with our fitness, we're taking you from couch to confident in your workout routine to help you build strength for weight loss, hormone health, and longevity. So we're going to be incorporating all you need: core, cardio, strength, mobility, flexibility into one program. It's just 3 home workouts per week. You follow along and you get expert coaching from Andy. He's been training clients for over 20 years. He's personally rehabbed from injuries. He knows how to coach you through whatever you're dealing with. A lot of people believe they can't exercise because they have a bad knee or I have a bad shoulder. I had surgery on this. You absolutely can if you're doing it in the correct way. So we help coach you through that. And we have fitness for all levels. So if you've never strength trained before, you start in our beginner series. If you're more experienced, you can start in the intermediate series. If you're really experienced, you can start with our more intermediate advanced classes. So we have things for everybody. And then with nutrition, I've gone over a lot of what I'm teaching in the 12-week program with my nutrition, but I go over the core method and I teach you how to eat, when to eat, what to eat, how to balance your plate appropriately, what types of foods to be including. And I teach you the framework to follow. I'm not just giving you recipes to blindly follow and overwhelm you. I'm teaching you the framework to empower you to nourish your body well. Yes, I give you resources and meals that you can make, but I also just help you take the guesswork out of, oh my gosh, I'm going on vacation. What do I do? We help coach you through all those things. So this program is really like nothing you've tried before. It's not just one thing that we're focusing on. We're bringing together all the things that you need to be healthy and lose weight. This program is rooted in science, and we're addressing why you can't lose weight, and then we're supporting you to help you make lasting change along the way. And when you go through this process, we're not just transforming your body, we're transforming your mind. And many of you might have a very negative relationship with food and diet. I myself have been through that process. But once you get out of that and realize what healthy eating is, it is so freeing to be able to just know how to be a healthy person and not feel like you're constantly on and off a diet all the time. You just learn what it is to eat well, and that's really cool. So the 12-week program has a couple of things that I want to highlight that make it really unique. So one are weekly group coaching calls, and these are done live. We have 2 call options, and you can come to either one, but everyone who's in the program comes together on a Zoom call weekly, and this is great for accountability. The community support is invaluable, but then also this is your opportunity to check in with us and then coaching. So the difference between just a weight check or like how you doing this week and coaching is that if you're hitting roadblocks, we're going to dive into why that is and we're going to coach you through it. And then when you see us coaching other people, you're going to hear what other people are dealing with, and they might even be bringing up issues or questions you didn't even know was an issue or question for you. And then you're like, oh, okay, you start reflecting on your own behaviors. This is a powerful time for you to elicit lasting change and really solidify the behaviors. So this is really important and helps you stay on track. You're accountable to us each week. Really, when you're making changes like this, if you're trying to do it on your own, unless you're highly self-motivated, it can be very hard to stick with. The next thing that's really cool are the pre-recorded nutrition, health, and lifestyle modules. So I have put together for each week of the program some amazing nutrition modules that give you all the information you need on how to eat, when to eat, what to eat, how to care for your body. We talk about why you're craving sugar and what to do about it. We talk about hormone health and how to balance that naturally. We talk about mental wellness and how your diet impacts that. We talk about sleep and stress and how strategies to modify that to help with weight loss. We talk about gut health. We talk about how to stay consistent even when you are traveling and what to do in those situations. We talk about what to do when you hit a plateau. We talk about what to do after you've hit your goals. Everything you need to know about nutrition is going to be all the right information to help you be successful. So I've taken all of my years of counseling and experience and brought together all the questions that I get from people, and it's going to answer a lot of those questions for you. And it takes the guesswork out of what should I be doing with nutrition. And then any other questions you have, obviously, you can bring those to the group call. This is also paired then with our um, fitness fit from home workout program. And this is 3 follow-along workouts per week. Again, you can do the beginner, the intermediate, or the live workouts. We also have a workout online portal where you can select workouts on demand that are maybe shorter or more strength focused, or you can kind of pick what you want to do. We also have body weight workouts for if you're traveling and don't have equipment. So it's really intended to keep you consistent no matter what your life circumstances. The last one is custom feedback from coaches. So one of the really cool things I have everybody do at the start of the program is fill out a pretty in-depth health assessment. And that is going to give you or give me all the information that's going on in your body, your medications, your supplements, your symptoms, your diagnoses. And then I'm going to look at that and I'm going to give you recommendations based on what I think is going on in your body based on your assessment. So that's going to help tailor the program to your specific body and your needs. A lot of times people are dealing with many different symptoms that they don't even realize are an issue and they're not actually diagnosed with anything, but they're having a lot of symptoms of different things, whether it be like headaches or mood swings or anxiety or allergies or digestive issues. So I'm going to give you some recommendations on how to correct that because a healthy body loses weight easier. So I always am concerned about getting your body healthy first, and then that's going to help you see more success. And then, of course, we're going to be coaching you during the calls each week. And then we also have a Facebook page where you can, or a community chat page where you can post questions and through the week, interact with other group members and interact with Andy and I as the program goes through. Bonus materials, I always get this question, is there going to be meal guides? Yes, you will get additional meal plans and recipes. I've developed what's called the Simple Balanced Meal Sheet because most people, when I give them a really beautiful meal plan that I've developed, they don't usually follow it. No, people think they need a lot of recipes, but in reality, you need the guidelines and you need to learn how to eat and the basics. So that's where we actually start. I give you very simple meals and how to put them together, and then we start introducing more variety and more recipes, however you want to. So you can go more fancy, but you don't have to. So really, we're focused on structuring your day and teaching you that balanced plate template as we go through the program. And usually about partway through the program, almost always the comments we hear is this just feels second nature now. Like I don't even have to put a lot of effort into it. I just know how to do it. And that's really our goal, is to help make you like a well-oiled machine. So what I find is that a lot of people are very frustrated by putting energy into multiple ideologies. You're just cherry picking what this person says and this person says and what you remember from this diet and trying to construct something that is going to get you results. But really, you end up wasting a lot of time, mental energy, money, because you're not getting the right information. So, what I want to do is teach you the right framework to follow that's going to keep you healthy for life. And then you don't really have to keep going on diets over and over again. You don't have to keep losing the same 5 to 10 pounds. You don't have to get back on the wagon every other week, but you just know what to do and you always have something to go back to. So when you're not investing in your health, and your health is the number one thing you can invest in, because when you don't have it, you realize how valuable it actually was. But you're not going to have the energy or the mental space to do life the way that you want to. So maybe you're having to buy bigger size clothing. Maybe you're spending a lot of money eating out. A lot of people don't lump eating out money into their grocery budget, but it really is. So you're using a lot of money on that. If you just learn how to put together our simple balanced meals, not eating out as much, that's going to save you a lot of money. Saving time spent frustrated, spent going to doctor's appointments, looking for answers, reading stuff online. It's just going to give you the right information. And then eventually, if you're not taking care of your body, you're going to end up with joint issues, joint replacements, surgeries, back surgeries. I mean, this is what we see. We see people in all different phases. And the people who have neglected their health, that's where they end up because they haven't maintained muscle balance. They've developed injuries. They're not strong anymore. You can prevent a lot of the things that are seen as normal aging. It's not. It's just a result of not taking care of your body. And then you're going to correct a lot of the health issues that can also be prevented with nutrition. And that is so important. So if any of you have seen like parents or grandparents go through stuff, like your fate will not be different unless we teach you how to make it different. But it is absolutely possible. You just need the right information. So, if you're wondering, yes, how do I become a healthy person? We would love to help you with this. This program, this 12-week program, is so powerful and so impactful in people's lives. And I can't even fully communicate all the transformation that will happen when you go through it. It's not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's really just a powerful thing that is going to carry you the rest of your life. So, this is a definite yes for you. You're ready to stop feeling frustrated, you're ready to finally lose the weight, you just want to be a healthy person, right? Then reach out to us. We would love to get you signed up for this. So you can email us, Andy and Laura Berger at Gmail. You can reply to the email that you'll get after you sign up for this masterclass to our email, or you can send us a direct message on Instagram. And if you don't follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you can follow us at Andy and Laura Berger. So how can I start? How can I get signed up? When you message us, we'll talk to you about the program, make sure it's a good fit for you. But this is a rolling admission. So when you sign up, you will make the week that you sign up your pre-week, where we'll have you do your nutrition assessment, your fitness assessment. I have a mindset video for you to watch is about becoming a healthy person, not just a dieter, and how to go about doing that. And then your week one would be the next week where you join the live calls, you get into the week one modules, which starts with Weight Loss 101, and then you really get into the program after that. So you can really start anytime, but really now is the best time because there's always something. We always help people during this program. It's like, oh, I have vacations, or I have travel, or I have this and this going on, or my kids are busy. There's always things going on. That's just life. But when we learn how to do this in the midst of life and we can help coach you through that, now you have the skills to apply it to other situations. There's never going to be a time when you have absolutely nothing going on for 12 weeks. So we can help you with how to implement these strategies in the midst of the busyness, and then you're going to be good to go moving forward. So I hope this was helpful for you. I love being able to share this information and these resources. And please feel free to reach out to us if you have questions. We'd love to hear from you. But thank you so much for attending my masterclass, and I hope to see you soon.